Grok Build Mode was released yesterday. It is a new Grok mode that turns natural language into website, apps, and games. And it also contains one-click sharing, one-click publishing, so you can bring your website live with one click in seconds. Sounds great? Some things to know about Grok Build before we dive into it. It is only included in the SuperGrok Heavy plan at the moment, which is quite expensive. And Grok is a web app. It is no desktop app like we have it in other tools like ChatGPT or Claude. So you cannot build applications or tools that you can install on your machine. All runs in the browser. Those are the core restrictions and the core facts. And now I want to get started with a first simple website that I want Grok to build and publish and deploy. For this, we have to enable build mode in this selection menu. And now I will just add my prompt. So we are no experts, so we just want to have a modern website generated for me. I teach about AI and I want to have some premium dark purple tech look, and it should work on phones and computers. That's the entire input. Now Grok Build starts generating this website for us. So let's see how this works. So to the right, you see the current state of the website. You will also be able to explore the website look and the files. So the file generated, the code behind the scenes, in case you're interested into that. And on the left side, you can always dive into the different steps Claude Build performs here to finish the tasks. You can follow along which files it creates, which file it accesses, which file it edits, and so on. But you can also just sit here, wait, do something else, and then see what the final result will look like. We got our first preview here. Doesn't look too shabby. Don't like the font, to be honest, but this is something we could of course change. But let's see what it looks like when it is finished. So now we are at the production build stage already. So apparently the full site is already in place. And as I said, it doesn't look too shabby. We can already navigate around here in the site, explore the different sections. There is some font cutoff. We'll fix this in a few seconds. But as I said, let's first finish the site. And the nice thing is now the site is finished. It is live in the preview. And what I also saw is it only took 4.5 minutes to get this site into the preview state here. Now, as I said, I want this site to work on desktop and mobile. So if we check out the mobile preview, this looks also good. So this works. This is a one-shot site here at the moment. I just want to fix the little issue I see here with the font. So what we could do now is we could make a screenshot here, add this to the prompt, and let it know that the gap between the different sections is too narrow sometimes. So the G here is cut off. So it should fix this. So this should be in place now. Let's reload the page. Well, and after the fix, the G still looks strange. So this is basically a font problem here, not a gap problem. So we will just update the font. So it should change the font for the headers like master, chat, GPT work, etc. I don't like that font. Now let's reload the page. And now the font looks better. The G looks all right. So this is now a page we could say is fine for us and which we want to publish. And that is the next step. So we have the view, the preview here. We have the code, which we can analyze if we want to. And next to it, we have the publish button. So this is the URL that we can use to access the website. We could change it, but I'll keep it to the defaults now. So let's publish this. Yeah, now we have some terms which we'll accept here. And now after a few moments, hopefully our website is live. It is published. So if we click this and forgot our domain, we can copy it here. Down here, you could also add a custom domain, which we won't do here. And here we are. This is now the website live. So this is the website we built now on the internet. And as you can see, this is the URL that we have to access this site now. So this was nice, this worked, but now let's make things a bit more, well, complicated for Grok. So for this, I'll go to a new chat to have a clear context. And now we'll build a Notes app. Again, an app is not a mobile app or something. It's still a web app that runs in the browser. But this time I want to have a modern Notes app. It should also allow people to create an account, to sign in and add and edit and search and delete their notes. and the node should also be there when they return. So the data should be stored in a database and not in the browser. So that's my entire prompt. So this is also finished. Again, it took around about 5 minutes. So let's see what Grok built for us. Get started here means we have to sign in. We have a Google or X sign in. I'll try the Google one. This worked. Now I am signed in with my account. I can add a new node. So let's create this node. It is here. It looks fine. I can edit it. I can delete it. Yeah, I think this is good. So this looks all good. Let's see if we can also log out here, if this works. Yeah, logging out does not work, so we'll fix this quickly with I can't log out. Let's reload the page. I can see this button now, but the button wasn't the problem in my opinion. The problem was that the sign out wasn't successful, but let's give it another try. So I'll press sign out again. It's not working. Let's maybe add a screenshot here again. And let's try it once again. So now it's not a one-shot app, I would say, but maybe we can fix this now. So reload and sign out. This looks good now. So let's try again, log in, you know the process. This worked, and now sign out. And finally, hopefully, we might have fixed this issue. And it worked perfectly. Now we could publish this app already, but I want to add one thing also important to you if you want to try this out on your own. Because if you publish this app now, then everybody can, of course, create an account and add nodes, and you might not want that. Therefore, I only want specific users to be able to sign in. So the only email address I allow is my own email now. So this should also make sure that you can try and publish it and not have any other people using your app. And this little tweak caused a lot of problems. My email address was exposed. The nodes were deleted, so I won't show you all of those fixes it took. It was all fixed by Grok in the end, but this is the result after some more prompts until this one-shot app was kind of working. So, one hopefully final try, reload, sign in, email no longer exposed. So I'll first try an unauthorized email address. This didn't work. Now I'll try my email address. So now it should work. Let's add a new node, create node, sign out, and the node is still there. So we made it. We now publish this app again with that URL, and now the app is live. So again, another published application here. And back in Grok, in case you want to change something in a published app, you can always do this with the publish changes button in here. But now I want to continue with the final app we will build, a game. So we will build a 3D formula style racing game that runs in the browser. One car, one track, simple keyboard controls. Let's see what Grok makes out of this, because we learned that Grok Build can also, well, build games for us. And after 13 minutes, we have our game. So the controls are right here. So let's start it. Let's start the race and let's see if this works. Yeah. Can I drive? Yeah. Well, it's not perfect, but it's some fun, I must say. So this was the first lap. Oops. And the second one. But I think we have to finish 3 laps to end it, I guess. There is no way to exit the game. Now we finish the race, and if we race again, we are again in the main menu. So yeah, then we started again. So we could fine-tune this now, but we did this in the last app already. But this is now really the one-shot version of this game. And now I will also publish this as we did it before. And then we did a game, or created a game, with one single prompt. Quite impressive. Let's see if the publishing also works as it did before. This is now the published version, and it again works as we saw it in the preview. So this is nice. And well, what's my conclusion now after building those 3 apps with Grok Build? Well, if I go back to our first app, this AI expert app we built, this portfolio page, I think this was nice. We had this issue with the font, which we fixed, but actually it was a one-shot app, and it's an app you could use, at least an app you can use as a base to dive deeper into this app, to add more features, etc., together with Grok Build. The Notes app is the one I wasn't really happy about. We had to tweak it a lot, and if we now check the sign-in on the published page, by the way, the login is not working. So we would have to fix this now, which I won't do because we fixed a lot on this app already. But if the applications get or become a bit more complicated with databases, sign-in, so authentication, there is more to do than just one-shotting an application. But if we use our racing game here, so the last application we created, this is quite nice. It's not a perfect game, nowhere close to it, but it was one shot and it created the game, which is some fun for a few moments. And of course, you could tweak this further. So in the end, I think Grok Build is a great first step or a great step into this direction of making apps, websites, or games creatable for everyone, I guess. You don't have that complicated deployment process as Grok manages this for you. We have to see how costs turn out because up to this point, the SuperGrok Heavy plan I'm using here is very expensive, so hosting is included as of now, but this might change. But I would call this a good alternative to apps like Lovable, and I would predict that we will also see things like that, tools like this, workflows like this in other apps like the ChatGPT work application, the desktop app, and also in Claude Cowork. A nice tool, a next step towards making building possible for everyone, but not perfect yet.